Okay, so we're going to have a look at question 7 from the Edco A paper, and this is a question on geometry, so we'll just get geometry written down here. And so we've been given a diagram below, and we have O, the center of a circle S, BC is the diameter of the circle, and then we're told that angle BCD, this angle down at the bottom here, is 90 degrees. And so CD is obviously a tangent to this circle S. We're also given a chord GH. So a chord is a line that connects the two endpoints of an arc. So we have an arc that goes from G to H, and the line that connects those in a straight line, that's called a chord. And we're also told that that chord G to H is parallel to BC and it's half of BC. So lots of information given to us in the question, and then we've been asked to show that triangle GOH is equilateral. So we can see this triangle here, GOH. We have to show it's equilateral. So how will we show it's equilateral? We have to prove that the three sides are the same. And when we're doing a proof like this in geometry, we have to write down the particular reasons. So first of all, I can see that OG, so O to G, is equal to O to H. And what's the reason for that? Well, the reason for that is they are both radius, so they're the radii of the circle. So they're both radii of the circle S. And like that, you have to get down the reason as to why something is true. The next thing we're going to say, well, G to H, so GH is equal to a half of BC. Now BC is the diameter of the circle, so GH is equal to half of the diameter. And what do we call half of a diameter? We call it a radius. So if OG equals OH, because they're both equal to the radius, and then GH is equal to the radius, we can say that OG is equal to OH, which is equal to GH, which is here. And so all of the sides are equal, and then therefore triangle, what's the letters they give us? Sorry, GOH. So triangle GOH is equilateral. Okay, so we just have to make sure to obviously give reasons for every little assumption, let's say, that we make. Okay, now the second part of the question asks us to work out angle BDC. Now angle BDC is this angle in here. And I can see that I have a large right angle triangle here, BCD, where I know that the angle here is 90 degrees. And so if I could just work out this angle here, which is angle CBD, well then I can add 90 degrees to that angle and subtract them from 180 to be left with this remaining angle. So let's go through it, and we need to show kind of all of our calculations. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the 60 degrees for my equilateral triangle. And I've been told that GH and BC are parallel. And if they're parallel, that means that I have alternate angles BOG and OGH. These angles are alternate. So BOG is 60 degrees. So I'm just going to write down, because it asks me to show all of my calculations, I'm going to write down that angle BOG is equal to angle OGH, and then the reason for that is they are alternate angles. Okay, and what is the measure of that angle? Equals 60 degrees. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that BO is equal to OG. So BO is equal to OG. And the reason for that is because they are both the radii, or the radius of the circle. And if those two angles, or those two sides are equal, it means that the base angles of that triangle are also equal. So those two green dots there, they must be the same. Now we've said that BOG is 60 degrees, and so if we subtract 60 from 180, we get 120, and then if we divide that by 2, we get 60 degrees. And so both of these base angles are 60 degrees. And so I'm going to write down that angle OBG equals 60 degrees. Okay, so now that I have that top angle, I'm just going to clean up my diagram a little bit here, because all that work there was just to establish that this angle here, angle OBG, was 60 degrees. We know that the angle down at the bottom here is 90 degrees, and we have a right angle triangle here, the triangle BDC. And remember, the question is to find this angle here, angle BDC. So what will angle BDC be? Well, angle BDC is equal to 180 degrees minus the sum of 60 and 90, which is 180 minus 150, which is 30 degrees. And so it's very easy to come along and start filling in information on the diagram, but when it says, you know, to show something is true, like show that GOH is equilateral, or to show your calculations to get this angle here, BDC, and show that it's 30, you do need to write down the various reasons as to why everything you've said is true. Okay, that's the question.